with the cultural differences in this day and age now, with the rights of LGBTQ and all of this hovering in, especially the Western world, a lot of our kids are becoming prey to this mentality and this agenda. What would you say in terms of how we deal with this going forward? Obviously we should be stern, but also sternness brings along a lot of problems for us in the West in terms of authorities and how the authority will clamp down and separate the kids. What would you recommend how we approach this?
يعني نحن أمام خطرين، إما أن نفقد أولادنا مستقبلهم، خصوصا أمام هذه الكفر والإلحاد والمثلية التي يعني الآن يجبرون الناس عليها، أو أن نحفظ أولادنا وديننا ولكن نفقد شيء من متاع الدنيا، متاع الحياة الدنيا.
So he said we're in a situation now, we've got two options in front of us. Either we lose our children, they get lost to whatever's being pushed, or we look after our children but lose part of the luxury of this world.
فالمسلم لابد يعني الله عز وجل كتب للمؤمن التضحية. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم هو رسول الله، أشرف خلق الله تبارك وتعالى، أفضل النبيين، الأنبياء كلهم كتب الله تعالى عليهم التضحية من أجل الإيمان.
So all Muslims, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and including the Prophet and all Prophets and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, had to sacrifice something. Allah has set some sacrifice, and this includes us as Muslims. There is a sacrifice we have to put up with.
فلا بد كتب الله تعالى على المسلم أن يضحي ببعض متاع الحياة الدنيا، بعض الحقوق، من أجل أن يحافظ على إيمانه وعلى مصلحة أهله.
And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that we, as Muslims, we need to sacrifice some of the luxury of this world in order to protect the belief and the faith of ourselves and our children.
لو رأينا سيدنا موسى كيف ضحى، سيدنا يوسف عليه السلام كيف ضحى وسجن من أجل ألا يرتكب مخالفة شرعية، سيدنا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كيف ضحى وخرج من مكة وترك أهله وأمواله، الصحابة رضي الله تعالى عنهم كيف تركوا بلادهم وأموالهم وأراضيهم من أجل الإيمان، حتى قال أحدهم يا رسول الله عندما حوصلوا بشعر أبي طالب ولا لم يجدوا شيئا يأكلونه، فقالوا يا رسول ادعوا الله لنا، قال إن الذين كانوا قبلكم كانوا يمشطون بأمشاط الحديد ما بين جلودهم ولحومهم ولا يحيدهم ذلك عن دينهم شيئا.
So when you see the examples of Sayyidina Musa, Moses alayhi salam, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, the sacrifices he was put into prison in order to not embark on one prohibited thing in the religion, and he was in prison for years because of that. How they sacrificed those things. And the Prophet ﷺ, he left his family, he left his wealth, he left his home, going from Mecca to here, in order to protect the religion, in order to protect the people. So the sacrifice is that.
لذلك وبين النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لنا في آخر الزمان عندما يأتي الدجال ويأمر الناس بأن يؤمنوا به، الذي لا يؤمن به يتخلى عن جميع حقوقه، يصبح ملاحقا أمنيا، يفر إلى الجبال.
And that's why the Prophet ﷺ told us that when the false Messiah Dajjal appears, once that happens, the Muslim has to leave everything that he has and owns. You leave and run to the mountains.
ومكمن خطورة الدجال لا أن المسلمين يشكون أنه إله، حتى جاء في أوصاف الدجال أنه بشع، يعني أعور العين، شعره هكذا مجعد، أفخج، يعني بشع، لا يمكن أن تتصور أن هذا إله. إذن أين مكمن الخطورة في الدجال؟ كما قال الإمام الكلابادي رحمه الله تعالى في بحر الفوائد، قال مكمن الخطورة أن التقية لا تقبل في ذلك الزمان.
So he's saying that Dajjal, it's the fear or the subtle danger. It's not that the Muslim will fall for him being a god. He comes in the form of a human. He has one eye which is blind and is in a certain form. His figure is a human, so it's not that the subtle danger. The subtle danger is that when he comes, is that tuqya, the best translation of tuqya, did you know? Tuqya, best translation of tuqya? Tuqya. Yeah, is that deception at that time, to be deceived into something is not going to be acceptable. Just the deception is the danger.
لذلك قال أحد الصحابة كما جاء في السنن عن للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: يا رسول الله، كيف إذا جلست على مائدته وأكلت حتى ملأت بطني ثم كفرت به؟ فضحك النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وقال: لا، مجرد أنك تتابعه ينمسخ القلب وتصبح من أتباعه.
He said, so one of the companions said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what about if I, for example, bump into him and then I eat from his table, I eat everything, and then I say that, no, I refuse you. Prophet said, no. Said, in this, just the mere fact that you sat with him and did that, your heart will be completely targeted or finished, and then you'll end up one of them.
قال أبو مجلس رضي الله تعالى عنه قال: أكثر أتباع الدجال أصحاب العيال، يقولون كيف نطعم أولادنا؟ أين نذهب؟ قال: فيتبعونه من أجل أولادهم وإطعامهم، من أجل الرزق يعني والعيش، فيصبحون من أتباعه. And
Abu Mujniz, one of the scholars called Abu Mujniz, says that the majority of the followers of Dajjal are those who have families, because responsible for family, because they'll say, how are we going to feed our children, our families, and therefore they end up being part of that following.
إذن لابد للنجاة من الدجال الهروب، يعني عدم اتباع، التضحية بالوظيفة، التضحية بأي شيء. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: فمن لاذ بالجبال والشعاب منه 40 ليلة جاءه رزقه وأمنه.
And that's why in order to protect yourself from Dajjal, you have to sacrifice. Whatever it might be, you need to stop what you're doing and just run. And that's why the Prophet said, whoever can run away, leave and run into the mountains for 40 days, then his rizq will come. His sustenance will then come.
الخلاصة أننا في تلك المجتمعات لابد أن نحترم قوانينها. لا يمكن أن نعارض القوانين.
In short, briefly, we are in their society, okay? And therefore we have to respect their laws. We have to respect their laws. We can't go against their laws.
ولكن ليس ذلك على حساب ديننا ومستقبل ودين أولادنا.
But this is not at the risk of our religion. We don't respect and take these into account at the risk of giving away our religion, our children's religion.
لذلك أعرف بعض الأخوة المسلمين في تلك البلاد أخرجوا أولادهم من المدارس وسجلوهم في مدارس إسلامية.
And that's why he says he knows that there are some people in those in the Western countries where they've had to take their kids out of the schools and put them in private Islamic schools, for instance.
أو بعضهم لا يجد المال حتى يضع أولاده في تلك المدارس، سافر إلى بلاد إسلامية وجلس إلى أن أنشأ أولاده وتربوا على مبادئ الإسلام وأصبحوا يعني شبابا وتمكن الإسلام من قلوبهم ثم عادوا إلى تلك.
And then some of them, he knows that they left those countries, went elsewhere elsewhere in the world, Muslim country, where they would be able to bring them up from their childhood with the fundamentals of the religion. Once they become to an age and they're adults, an adolescent age or even a little bit more adults, that they have the fundamentals and they're stuck, then they can go back.
إذن لابد من التضحية، أن تضحي بأي شيء من أجل أن تحافظ على إيمانك وإيمان أولادك.
He said, and therefore it's a necessity that there needs to be some sacrifice that has to happen from our part in order to protect our religion and the religion of our children.